Welcome, my friends. It's Who Day here on Life and Surround. The Who. Who's next? Reissue has finally been officially announced, releasing on September 15th, an awfully awesome day of the year, if I may say. September 15th, 2023. Who's Next by The Who receives the Super Deluxe treatment. And so I'm here on superdeluxeedition.com because they have compiled some quite excellent information about this release. 10 CDs plus a Blu-ray for the Super Duper Deluxe edition. Steven Wilson Dolby Atmos remixes of the album, plus some associated tracks. And man, let's just jump right to that. The bonus tracks. Some of you hardcore Who fans are going to know way more about some of these tracks than I will. I am familiar with some. So we have The Seeker, Here for More, Now I'm a Farmer, I Don't Know Myself, Water, Naked Eye, Pure and Easy, Too Much of Anything, Let's See Action, When I Was a Boy, Join Together, Put the Money Down, Relay, and Long Live Rock. Okay, all mixed into Atmos and 5.1 by Steven Wilson. It appears that maybe those didn't receive a stereo remix. You also get the album, Atmos 5.1, Steven Wilson stereo, and the original stereo, all in high resolution 24-bit. All right, so let's look at the box set summary. On CD1, you get the album remastered. On CD2 and 3, you get Pete Townshend's Lifehouse demos, parts 1 and 2. CD4, Record Plant Sessions. CD5, Olympic Sound Studio Sessions. Disc 6, CD6, Singles and Sessions. And then discs 7 and 8, you get Live at the Young Vic, London. And discs 9 and 10, CDs 9 and 10, you get Live at the Civic Auditorium in San Francisco. Disc 11 is the Blu-ray, which I've already described to some extent. Who fans are definitely very excited about both live shows. I am familiar with Live at Leeds, which you may see back behind me in the company of Wilshire Hound. And I also had a chance to see them live not too long ago on the Who Hits Back tour. And I loved that show. I am definitely intrigued by the inclusion of 2 complete concerts in this set. I have also heard that Pete Townshend's demos are held in very high esteem, and not to mention the session recordings could give a lot of insight into the evolution of these just absolutely classic and famous tracks. So who's next? I mean, for anybody watching who doesn't know, it is definitely a landmark album. It is considered by many to be the Who's strongest, most consistent album. It definitely garnered them some massive hits, including one of those CSI songs. You know which one. And besides the musical content, you get a graphic novel, which I understand to be sort of a would-be making of the Lifehouse project, like what happened to it. You get another book. I think that's probably just a companion book to the album. And you get posters and lapel pins and all that sort of stuff. All right, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. there's a concept that I refer to as tombs. Tired of mega box sets. And, it's all well and good. There is a billionaire class that has arisen around this world. And I'm sure that $300 plus for an album is no problem for them. There are, however, music lovers around the world that perhaps live paycheck to paycheck or just have, a much more finite discretionary budget. And there are a number of passionate surround music lovers, surround sound and immersive music lovers around this world. And $300 for one immersive album and some bonus tracks, just, it really smarts. I have read and heard quite a bit of chagrin in the last day. This should be a day of just absolute celebration. And yet people who decide that they are just fervently interested in experiencing and enjoying this content are looking at just a brutal price tag. If you divided the cost across the number of tracks here, you're looking at a couple of bucks per track. And in a certain sense, that may actually not be so bad, but the fact that you're forced to just go all or nothing. So point being, the surround and immersive community is quite used to surround and immersive albums being locked in a box. And so you have to pay the price of the box to get the one disc that you want. But we are occasionally treated to very, very, very reasonably, if not modestly priced releases. So you have the recently incarnated surround series from the SDE shop, where you basically pay a fair price for one Blu-ray of one album. You have Rhino Records releasing Quadio titles, again, a fair price for one Blu-ray of one album. You have Marillion sets, you have Jethro Tull sets, you have Gentle Giant box sets on a Blu-ray, not to mention, yes, XTC, King Crimson. There are labels and bands that get this. You have Bruce Sword of The Pineapple Thief, absolutely delivering the strongest value available, with 8.5 hours of superb Atmos content, for a box set price. So anyway, having addressed the cost, there are other ways to enjoy this deluxe rollout. There are vinyl versions, there are CD versions, there are various versions. If you want the Blu-ray quality, the lossless Atmos uncompressed 5.1, you have to go for this box set or visit a friend's house or the like. Now, I assume that all of this content, or most, will be available on streaming outlets like Amazon, Apple, Tidal. Okay, fair enough. And I am strongly considering picking up this set one way or another. I wish I had, a contact at the label to acquire a review copy, but I, regardless, am strongly considering acquiring this set to just share it with everybody, on video. And then I love loaning out discs to friends and stuff. So this was in like one of my most anticipated albums of 2023 list. So I really feel like strongly compelled to pick this setup, however I can most reasonably. I almost don't want to reward the label though for, the sticker shock factor here. So this is just an extremely exciting multi-channel musical release. This is an absolute top tier A-list album remixed by an absolute top tier A-list engineer, Mr. Steven Wilson himself. He's gotten a lot of mention on this channel lately. Sure hope his forthcoming album is stellar. I would love to be in love with Steven Wilson's music again. But as stereo 5.1 and Atmos remix engineer, I mean, he's a god. Okay, so you have an immensely beloved album from a deeply talented band and a genius songwriter being remixed into my most beloved art form of multi-channel sound, and yet this sickening price. So I'm hoping that people will be savvy. I'm hoping that some retailers will think better of the MSRP. Some discounters perhaps might think even better still. But even still, at what cost would this feel reasonable to you? Like maybe half price? Like this is a heavy price tag. You and me have done this recently with Rush titles. Some Tragically Hip content has been box locked. Pink Floyd records have done this. So again, Tombs is a thing. Tired of mega box sets. So for anyone watching in any position of power, I implore you, there are fans of multi-channel content, there are fans of this music who would greatly appreciate, would say a prayer for you, a prayer of blessing for you, if you could find it in your heart to release a stripped down package with the Blu-ray, or even a standalone Blu-ray, like many excellent labels do. 2L, the SDE Shop, and several others. I implore you from the bottom of my heart, for your fans, please stop box locking Blu-ray quality multi-channel musical content. Thank you. Now, for everyone else watching, I appreciate you watching. I want to see your comments of whether you intend to purchase or not. If you're price watching the outlets that you have your eyes on, whether you intend to sit this one out and perhaps enjoy the streaming content. I will probably pick this up. I'm strongly considering it. And one of the chief things that I would do would be to compare the Blu-ray Atmos quality versus the streaming quality. I actually do enjoy quite a bit of streaming Atmos content, though when I do an A/B test, I always detect with my ears a difference in the definition of the material, particularly in the bottom end. All right, so the Who's next? Super Deluxe. It is here, September 15, 2023. Mark it on your calendars. Start saving your pennies. Sell albums that you don't like anymore. Do whatever you have to do. I wouldn't be surprised if this set eventually sells out, but I also am taking an educated guess that we all have some time to do some price watching. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed or gotten some value out of this video. If you have, don't forget to like. If you appreciate news about potentially exciting musical releases, don't forget to subscribe, ring the notification bell, leave your comments below, share these videos. It all helps to support this channel, and this channel supports the music that you and I love. And with that, I just wish you all lives lived in surround.